We come to an event like this, obviously we expect the cars to be the main attraction and the main feature, and I suppose they are. But this time it is a little bit special because there are two guys here who are in their own right quite an attraction, so much so they're giving a seminar this afternoon and it's expected to be packed out. They are, let me introduce you, Pete Chapouris and Alex Xydias. Gentlemen, thank you for talking to us. And thank you for finding time to come away from your autograph hunters. It's been impossible. In fact, Alex, we even had you signing a car earlier on, which I'm going to ask you about. Let's find out the story here. Pete, I'm going to come to your involvement, which is kind of more recent. Alex, you don't mind me calling you one of the forefathers of the whole hot rod movement, do you?
No, I don't mind, thank you.
Right, how did that come about?
I'm proud of it.
Absolutely.
It all started when I got out of World War II, out of the Air Corps, and started a little shop in Burbank, California, a little speed shop. And there was a great deal of excitement after the war, all these young men with money in their pockets from getting out of the service, and a great desire to go racing with their cars. So I saw that opportunity and I filled it with parts and acorn head nuts and manifolds and heads and things. And then we started setting records ourselves with our own cars, and SoCal was on the cover of Hot Rod magazine and so forth. And
well, you started a legend. But in those days, hot rods, well, they weren't necessarily good boys, were they?
No. They were just cars that had to have a lot of ingenuity in them because there wasn't a lot of stuff available, not like there is today.
And if you look around today at this event, there's a lot of families here. It's very much a family day out, and it's the same sort of thing in America, though obviously on a bigger scale. Yeah. It wasn't a family thing then, was it? They were bad lads.
Well, yeah, they were street racers and stuff, and the newspapers were putting them down with hot rod all the time. We didn't even like the word hot rod, to tell you the truth. It was kind of a derogatory term in those days. And finally, with the association being formed, the NHRA, SCTA, we got the kids off the street and got them running at drag strips and dry lakes and places where they could be regulated. And then, of course, they all calmed down. They started getting married and having children, and it changed the whole industry.
But what you did was take hold of it and bring that sense of organisation to it. It's moved on. Now we have a very, very different situation.
Oh, absolutely.
So you come in a little later on. I know there's an awful lot goes on in between. Bring us up to date.
I started a business called Pete and Jake's in 1973, and what we basically did in the States is we took it out of a cottage industry and brought it to the forefront. The business was very successful. My partner and I are still really good friends, and I sold the business in 1987. And I took a few years off, and I started another business called the Pete Chapouris Group. And then Alex and I became friends, and he still had the SoCal name, and we joined forces about 2.5 years ago, and so far everything is looking really good.
Because SoCal had gone quiet, hadn't it, for quite a long time?
Quite a while, yeah.
What had you been getting up to? Because I know you weren't exactly sitting around.
No, I kind of closed the shop down because I got interested in making films of Indianapolis and Daytona and drag racing and things like that. And then I had a great opportunity to go to work at Peterson Publishing Company, Hot Rod Magazine, Motor Trend, Carcraft, and met a lot of people, traveled a lot. It was a great experience, and I stayed there for 12.5 years, ended up being the associate publisher of Hot Rod. And then Mickey Thompson, an old friend of mine from Bonneville days and everything, got together, and we did a show called the Score Off-Road Equipment Show. That was the days of the Bigfoot, big trucks, and people were making roll bars and lights and all the things for the trucks. So we did that for 10 years, and then Mickey and I sold the show, and I retired until Pete brought me back.
So you could say you've always been a bit of a showman, Alex.
It's the best part about it is I've always been a hot rod involvement somewhere along the way. Cars have always been my life and my hobby, so what could be better than that?
And Americans are fiercely enthusiastic about their motoring heritage, aren't they? Motoring history seems to be quite important.
Yeah, the history of all this, the traditional side of hot rodding is right now is right at the forefront, so it's very exciting.
You come here to an event like this, are you surprised to see not only the cars, but how much people seem to know about American old cars and the enthusiasm that they have over here for them?
I'm impressed by some of the decals I've seen and some of the shirts with cars out of our past and how much they know about our past. And it's very interesting that they've read about it and they've learned from it. No, we're very flattered to see what they're doing here.
But so much for the history. What about the future? What's the future of hot rodding, Pete?
The future of hot rodding has never been stronger as far as I'm concerned. We've got a strong 10 to 15 years left in this as guys my age start to grow older. But basically our customer right now is the 40 to 55-year-old guy. But there's a phenomenon going on. We're getting a lot of young people in, so it could go on forever. I'm hoping it will.
Absolutely. Now, what did we see you signing earlier on? It was the strangest looking car I've ever seen.
Oh, a guy wanted us to sign his dashboard. both of us.
No,
And,
he was talking about your tank over there.
Yeah.
oh,
there was
the belly tank.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we signed another car. Forgive me.
So many cars. It's
So
different
many
cars.
cars,
so
it's
little time.
So little
No,
time,
man.
right. No, it was a little belly tank car that looked similar to the belly tank car we ran and that Pete restored.
Now, just to explain, belly tank car, that was made out of the tank.
It was
wasn't
a belly tank from a P-38 fighter plane that was popular during the war. And after the war, they had them in surplus stores. And it was the perfect shape for a car, streamlined. So we built a belly tank out of it and put the engine in the rear, much like this little car that's here today. And it was a kick to see it. It's painted very similar to the SoCal car.
Now, you've done some pretty speedy driving in your time, haven't you?
Well, for its day. Yeah, we went 198 miles an hour with our belly tank.
What year?
1952.
Yeah, so that counts, doesn't it? Really?
Yeah, it counts pretty good, yeah.
1952. And your hell raising days in cars aren't over, are they? Isn't there more to come?
Oh, yeah, we're just getting
right.
started.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We didn't exactly raise hell, but last summer we went on Americruise, Hot Rod and Custom Magazine.
Yeah, we drove cross country in a 32 Roadster, and Alex accompanied me, and couldn't
just
get him out of the
loved it.
car. It was really fun.
Just was magnificent.
Excellent. Well, it's glad to know that in motorsport and motor racing and involvement in motoring generally, even with a little tiny bit of age, Alex, if I'm allowed to say that, you don't have to get any more sensible, do you?
No, not at all.
No, it just keeps the young man in you awfully alive.
Enjoy yourselves. Continue doing
Thank
it.
you
And enjoy
very
your time
much.
here. I know you have enjoyed your show.
have
Better-
already.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Better get back to your fans, haven't you? Really?
Yeah,
Go and
yeah,
sign
well,
some
you know.
stuff.
We'll go sign another car.
We'll just stand here in the quiet.